made sure to sleep on my back so my face was ready to receive a kiss in case he came in the night. It wasn't that likely, obviously, because I lived in South Wales and he lived in California, which was 5,000 miles away, and he didn't even have my address. I knew exactly where he lived in California, in a canyon. A canyon was like our valley, only much bigger. We said much bigger. David said way, way bigger. Way was American for much. In America, way to go means you've done something well. Way to go, baby! Other words I had learned were cool, mad, and bathroom. You have to be careful because a bathroom is not a bathroom in America, it's a toilet. The Americans are most polite people who are not standing for vulgarity, said my mother, who was German and beautiful and disapproved of many things. You might say that my mother's whole life was a battle to keep the vulgar and ugly at bay. In our town, she had found the perfect enemy. I just liked knowing American words because they brought me closer to him. When we met, it would be important to retain my individuality, which was one of the top things David looked for in a girl. In every interview I had read, David said that he preferred a girl to just be herself. But to be honest, I was unsure of who myself was, or even if I had one, although I still maintained a touching faith that this unknown and as yet undiscovered me would be deeply appealing to David when we eventually met. How could I be sure? The understanding in his eyes told me so. "Donny Osmond's a moron," Sharon said firmly. She was kneeling on the floor, picking at the staples in a centerfold with her thumbnail, trying to free a male torso. The slender, headless body was naked to the waist and practically hairless, except for a fine golden down just above the belt, which boasted a heavy bronze buckle. Sharon eased the poster off the frail metal pins until it rested on her hands, trembling a little in the hot air blowing from the small heater beside her. Sharon's bedroom was small, painted in a sickly shade of ointment pink, and reeked of burnt hair. Sharon had dried her hair in front of the heater, and a few strands got sucked into the back, but we didn't really notice the smell, so absorbed were we in our work. "I don't think Donny's a moron, to be honest with you," I said carefully. "All the Osmonds are morons. I read it in a mag," she insisted, without looking up from the poster. Sharon was an expert restorer, the best artist in our class. When she grew up, she could probably get a job in a museum or an art gallery. I loved to watch her work, the way she rolled her tongue into a little tunnel when she was concentrating and applied her attention to the tiny puncture holes in David's stomach, soothing the torn paper with her fingertips until the flesh appeared to seal up. "There you go, lovely boy," she said, and placed a noisy smacking kiss on his belly button before adding the poster to the pile. I badly wanted to correct Sharon about the Osmonds being morons, but our friendship was still too new to risk disagreement. We liked each other because we agreed. We agreed because we both thought David Cassidy was the most wonderful boy currently alive and maybe in all of human history. At 13 years of age, I couldn't imagine the luxury of having a friend you could disagree with. If you disagreed with her, you could fall out. Then, before you knew it, you'd be back out there in the playground by yourself. Even worse, you could find yourself entering into anxious negotiations with some other borderline outcast to be your partner in PE, so you didn't have to be in a pair with Susan Jenkins. Susan Jenkins, who had a disease of the skin no one could spell. Her face, her arms and her legs were all cratered like the surface of the moon, only some days the holes were filled in with the chalky dust of calamine lotion. The worst thing about Susan Jenkins, apart from the way you felt really sorry for her but still didn't do anything to help her, was the smell. Honest to God, Susan smelt so bad it made you retch in the corridor when she went past, even though she always walked on the side with the windows. "Donny's a Mormon. I think it's a religion they founded in Utah," I said cautiously, trying the sounds in my mouth. Utah. I knew exactly what Mormons were. Donny's studies were part of my deep background research on David. "Do you reckon Mormons all have to wear purple because it's Donny's favourite colour?" I asked. Sharon giggled. "Get away with you, Petra. You're a case you are." We thought we were hysterically funny. We laughed at anything, but lately boys had become a particular target for our witticisms. We laughed at them before they could laugh at us, or ignore us, which curiously felt even more wounding than being teased or insulted. You know, I always liked Sharon's laugh better than mine. My laugh sounded like a nervous cough.